What's up? This your boy Derek Branch here, SportsView360.com, covering New Orleans Saints today. And today I just want to just talk a little bit more about the release of the Saints 2026 regular season schedule. It came out in its entirety on Thursday throughout the day. There were leaks going out um, from sun up to sundown all throughout the day on who the Saints were playing. The first leak that came out was Saints playing the Detroit Lions week one at Detroit. Then around I think around noon time, it was Saints were playing the Bengals on the road for after Thanksgiving, that Sunday after Thanksgiving. I think the next day this came out by Fox 8 Lives, Fox 8 Sports in New Orleans, anchorman, reporter, Garland Gillen. Not a good follow for Saints news and all that, but according to this post he put out, these odds came up. These odds are from DraftKings Sports. They report that Gillen Gillen reported that the Saints are underdogs in every road game this season, and overall, that's 12 out of all the 17 games they play this season. They're underdogs in 12 of them, and out of that total for the road games, they're not expected to win any of them. So you know what that means is that, and things could go either way. And I know, regardless of what a lot of people out there really, are dug into the conspiracy theories, and about the games being rigged, things like that. And what this means is that people are not Vegas, the league, or whoever, are not sold on Tyler Shuck just yet. They're just not. Based on these projections. Let's just look at the games overall, man. You got week one against the Detroit Lions, week two against the Baltimore Ravens. Two tough slates going back to back on the road, hostile environments. Detroit plays in the indoor stadium, Baltimore outdoor. Good thing about that for Baltimore, going to Baltimore, you're not playing them in the winter time, with the elements being a factor. Um, then you got the on the road. Let's look at the road. Let's just look at the road games. You come back to the dome, play the Raiders, play the Falcons, play the Vikings. 3 game stand at home. Then you go on the road against the Giants. They got a new head coach. Not just any new head coach. You got John Harbaugh, who won the Super Bowl, has postseason success, have had teams um, get the number one seed before, win over 14 games in the past. His quarterback, Lamar Jackson, has won MVPs before. Joe Flacco won an MVP in the Super Bowl on his watch. Renowned elite head coach, probably going to the Hall of Fame. Last year, you beat Jackson Dart and the New York Giants at home. Can you do that again at their place this season? Some people in the media expect the Giants to have a better team this season. Maybe you beat them early in the year while they're still trying to figure things out. Um, then it's not a home. This is considered a home game, but you're on the road. You play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Paris, week 7, and that game has gotten even more intriguing because now it was reported yesterday that Aaron Rodgers will be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, reunited with Mike McCarthy, his head coach when he was with the Green Bay Packers. Coach that he had a lot of success with till things spiraled out of control towards the end. You playing that? That's gonna be. I think that's a tough game, in my opinion. I think that's a tough game. Then you go in the bye. Your next road game, you got Chicago Bears. Last year you saw what happened. Not Tyler Shuck, but Spencer Rattler was looking solid in that game till the bottom fell out in the second half. Bears won that game, and um, I expect the Bears to be really good this season again. This will be Caleb Williams' second season in that offense under Ben Johnson. That team got ever since that game with the Saints last year. Bears had got really better as the season went on. Dennis Allen, he facing one of your former coaches, was a really successful defensive coordinator. That's a tough game. Let's be honest. Then Bears expect to win plus 6.5 point favorites. Then you go to the Bengals. That's another tough game. I was before they put out that the Saints were playing the Lions week one at home on the road. I wanted to see the Saints play the Bengals a little earlier in the season on the road, but you played Joe Burrow, T Higgins, Jamar Chase. That's a really good roster with weapons. They had a Dexter Lawrence in a trade before the draft. Not a difficult game. Green Bay. That's a really to be honest with you. These three games. I know it's a road. We're only talking about the road games, but you got the Bears, Bengals, Packers. That's a really, to me, that's a season defining stretch right there because that may determine where the Saints are at in regards to the playoffs. That could put them out of the conversation, or it could increase their chances of getting into the playoffs. And then you really, we're really looking at it. You can include the Carolina Panthers as part of that slate. They're expected to be a better team. That's on the road. Panthers are expected to win that game. And last year, the Saints beat the Panthers both times, and the Panthers won the division. Then you play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people give them credit for having a good NFL draft outing. They're expected to be a good team. To me, I don't believe the Buccaneers this season, but we'll see. We'll see how it all play out. Todd Bowles is on the hot seat clearly. Maybe he's the head coach by then, maybe he's not, but they got to rebound big time. They're expected to rebound big time. Huge expectations for that team and a huge year for Todd Bowles and that staff. The only game on the schedule, well, then you got the Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, and the Bucks again to close out the season. So if you survive this stretch against the Bengals and the Bears that are on the road, maybe, and if you manage to beat Green Bay, who knows? You may be playing for the division in these next couple of games. You got the Panthers on the road, Bucks on the road against the Falcons, week 17. Then you got he had the Bucks. He hosts them at home. Could be playing for the division, which is that simple, you know. So not really surprised by this, man, and not really surprised that the Saints are underdogs in 12 of their 17 games this season. And I've said this before, outside of the Saints circles, outside of the Saints fan base. I know last year they had success. They went 4-1 to close out the year. Got really good, got really better. And people look at who they played. You were playing teams that didn't really have nothing to play for outside the Buccaneers and the Panthers. But the NFC South, the reputation of the NFC South is that it's not a good division. So people are just not sold on that. Weren't sold on the Saints on their resurgence to close out the season. But to me, I've said this before in the past as well, that is the NFL. You played, the Saints went out there and played who's on the schedule. It don't matter if they were good teams or not, or they had something to play for. You played an NFL team. You played an opposing NFL team. And at any given Sunday, anything can happen. Don't be surprised if you're in a battle with the Arizona Cardinals. You know, who knows? I don't expect the Cardinals to be good this year, but you never know. But um, you can go 1-0. If you can go on the road and beat the Lions, manage to beat the Lions, but lose to the Ravens, even if it's a blowout, I think you're in good shape when you play the Raiders. Because after that, you play the Raiders, the Falcons, the Vikings. I think Minnesota's gonna have a good team this year with Kyler Murray. I think it's gonna have a huge bounce back year, but we'll see. Giants is a very questionable game on the road. New head coach, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbull, Malik Neighbors. Is the Malik Neighbors going to be 100% by then, recovering from that injury? We'll see. You know, John Harbaugh knows how to build really good football teams. Maybe you get them at a time when they're still trying to figure it out as an offense. Like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it all play out. But they put this out. Garland Gillen put this out. I think the day after the schedule came out, so we'll see how it all play out. But I think just looking at the schedule now, and you look at the roster that they put together, the draft and all that, I'm looking at a 9 to 10 win team. I think the Saints can manage 9 to 10 wins out of this. 9 to 10 wins out of this. Even if you win 9 games, but you don't get to the playoffs, I consider that a success in my opinion. This is a tough. This is a tough schedule. This is a tough schedule. And I ain't got the graphic out, but I don't have the graphic in front of me right now. But I think it was Adam Schefter that put it out that ranked all 30 teams, or that ranked all 32 teams by strength of schedule, and the Saints were like 31 because of that schedule. It was easy to them according to the winning percentage, the total winning percentage of that schedule puts the Saints at 31 out of all 32 teams in regards to strength of schedule. So when you have the weakest strength of schedule, you're supposed to have winnable games on your schedule, but that don't work like that, man. It do not work like that. You still got to go out there and win these games. And the Saints don't, like I said, don't have the Saints don't have an easy schedule. I know the Bengals had a bad year last year, but they're the Bengals. Look who's the quarterback, Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? The Vikings were down last year, but they bounced back. They could have a bounce back year. Look who's the quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's going to a new offense, new a head coach that has had success revitalizing quarterbacks' careers. And Kevin O'Connell. The Giants had a bad year, but they getting a new head coach, a coach that is renowned for having really good football teams. And John Harbaugh, Mike McCarthy, a really good play caller. The Browns have given the Saints issues over the years, even when Sean Payton was the head coach. So a lot to take into consideration when you look at teams having the weakest strength of schedule, and then they base that off of the winning percentage of last year. They'll take into account what the teams did in the offseason to make themselves better. So Saints just gotta go out there and just take care of business. Weather the storm, doing these stretches that they go through the season, and let the chips fall where they may. We'll see. That's all I have for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how y'all feel. How do you feel about the Saints being underdogs in each road game of the season? And have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.